Welcome to Nonprofit Strength and Conditioning. I'm Skip Lockwood of QL3 Strategies, and we provide performance enhancement for nonprofits. Today's workout is Bad News Doesn't Get Better with Time. Bad news is everywhere. It can change your mood, change your plans, and even change the direction of your life. In nonprofits, bad news may mean cutting back programs, releasing staff, or even closing. Bad news stinks, but your response to it doesn't have to. First, some history. 10 or so years ago, a colleague was researching partnering opportunities for the nonprofit I ran. She came across a fledgling event known as Tough Mudder. Knowing my interest in unique athletic events, she passed the mud run and obstacle course info along. I was hooked at the first sentence. Amid the descriptions of the various Tough Mudder obstacles was a note about a group of people that ran the course with weighted rucks known in non-military speak as backpacks. Wanting to be in the ruck group with the cool kids, I began to research both Tough Mudder and a startup company called Go Ruck. The prerequisite to join the ruck group at the Tough Mudder was to undertake a 12-hour challenge led by Go Ruck's owner and a former Green Beret, Jason McCarthy. The challenge activities were shrouded in secrecy except for a vague description of being based on team building techniques utilized by special forces and an 11 p.m. start time. I finished after 12 hours of grueling, sweaty, exhausting, wet, muddy, funny, and trying activities. Class 024 changed my life for the better. Somewhere amongst the many lessons learned on that night, Jason tossed out a truth that has stuck with me. Bad news does not get better with time. Behaving badly with bad news. Most people tend to wait until the last possible moment to deal with bad news. Whether terminating an employee, telling the board about a fiscal shortfall, dealing with the loss of a major donor, or coping with the departure of a key employee, bad news that is either received or delivered is dealt with by putting off action until circumstances require it. Waiting feels like it provides room for resolution, an opportunity to fully grasp the information, and a means for lessening pain and discomfort. Unfortunately, the opposite is true. Failing to act promptly in the face of bad news results in a more difficult situation, adding stress and anxiety. It extends the misery and delays the formulation and execution of a solution. For example, let's say a key employee leaves. Dithering, mourning, gnashing teeth, and cursing your terrible luck does not bring the key employee back, nor does it speed up the replacement of the lost skill set, and it negatively impacts the morale of the entire office. The failure to deal effectively with the bad news increases the impact of that news dramatically. The sooner a strategy is developed and executed, the quicker the organization can begin recovering. Moving quickly may sting at first, but the positive action will quickly outstrip the pain. Let's see another example. Your organization has a significant budget shortfall. You wait 6 months to tell the board of directors that the organization is in fiscal distress and that you will be laying off half the staff. The 6-month-old financial information ambushes the board of directors, which is a situation that only has downsides. It also severely restricts the options available to solve the problem. At this point, you might be part of the layoffs. Had you gotten to the board of directors quickly with the bad financial news, you could have controlled the narrative, engaged the board in seeking solutions, and with the board's blessing rather than opposition, made financial adjustments before drastic measures were required. Controlling bad news. Every management team needs to have a bad news process and procedure in place. The tenets of QL3's bad news procedure are 1. Open and honest communication among all team members. I try to foster open dialogue by continuously reminding people that our team discussions are like science experiments where we attempt to leave emotion at the door so that we can question, analyze, debate, brainstorm, and deconstruct without worrying about blame, incriminations, and fault. This skill may take some time to manifest, but once developed, it is a powerful tool for progress in the organization. Tenet 2, speed kills. James Carville's famous line during the 1991 presidential campaign is just as accurate now as it was then. Getting accurate information to those that need it as quickly as possible improves the odds of success and increases the amount of time you have to prepare for a storm of bad news. For this tenet to work, there must be an enunciated expectation from the CEO that management personnel will share good news and bad news as soon as possible with the entire management team. Second, the CEO must actively model this behavior with the understanding that the management team will follow suit. Finally, the most important tenet, work the problem. NASA legend Gene Kranz is most famous for making use of this phrase. Work the problem is a reminder to personnel to focus on finding a solution. Kranz's management philosophy is summarized in a 2014 article in Fast Company entitled Problem Solving Lessons from NASA. He states, when it comes to solving important problems, too often we go with our intuition and that only makes things worse. According to Kranz, real competence involves doing things thoughtfully and mindfully rather than by hope, intuition, or guesswork. Kranz developed the following procedure to deal with the challenges of bad news. Leaders must work the problem through proper and thorough procedures. Specifically, leaders should define the problem, determine goals and objectives, generate an array of alternative solutions, evaluate the possible consequences of each solution, use this analysis to choose one or more courses of action, plan the implementation, implement with full commitment, and finally, adapt as needed based on incoming data. This is such a good system that the procedure is still used at NASA today. So bad news is bad news. All people and organizations face it at some point. How you and your organization react to that news has a significant impact on success or failure. Robust processes for problem solving coupled with communication and teamwork can change bad news from disaster to opportunity or prevent a catastrophic result. Failure to handle bad news may leave your organization with the worst possible outcome. As Jason so effectively pointed out, bad news does not get better with time. The best way to handle bad news is head on, heads up, and without delay. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found Nonprofit Strength and Conditioning useful. I welcome your comments and questions. To contact QL3 Strategies to discuss how we may assist your nonprofit, visit our website at www.ql3strategies.com.